Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about tasks and different type of task inside of the Microsoft project. This is lesson 2. In lesson 1, we discuss about the calendar and how you can define it inside of the Microsoft project. And in these lessons, I'm gonna discuss about the tasks, how you can define them, and also the different types of tasks that exist inside of the Microsoft project. When you open the Microsoft project file, by default, you should be able to see this screen. Okay. On the left side here, you can see a table structure format. Okay. We will discuss about these formats later, but for now, you're gonna use this table. Okay. And on the right side, you have the Gantt chart. Right side here. Here, let's say here on this column task name, if I put, for example, task 1, when I put the task 1 and press enter, then one record is creating here. By default in Microsoft project, they put the task mode on manual schedule. What I recommend to you is always use auto schedule. If you want to change the default, here you can select and change to auto schedule. So if you try to create another task 2, it is automatically set as auto schedule. Okay, these are regular tasks. Task 3. Okay, task 1, task 2, task 3. There is another type of task inside of the Microsoft project. Right now, I just want to show you the different types of tasks that you can have inside of the Microsoft project. Let's say, let me put the name milestone. The name task name is just a name text. It can be anything. Okay. Here, if you look, these tasks are similar, right? If you look at the Gantt chart, the visual also on the Gantt chart is the same, but the duration is 1, right? If I put the duration for this milestone is 0, then it changed. Milestones are kind of a tasks without a duration. Okay, I will explain you how you can use them and how useful they are. But for now, let's see what kind of tasks we have inside of the Microsoft project. So we have regular tasks, we have milestone. I prefer to categorize them and separate them. Then let me put, let me say, work package, and then let's say T1, T2, T3, right? Now let me press insert button to separate them a little bit. Okay, now look at this section. So these tasks were regular tasks, normal tasks. Okay, this one was milestone. Okay, and here you have I put one as it's just a name. Remember, it's just a name. Work package, then T1, T2, T3. Okay, now let me select, press Ctrl, select these 3, or left click on mouse and drag these 3, and here on task tab, let me find it. Where is indent? Indent here. You can use indent this here, or you can use Alt Shift and right arrow key. Alt Shift right arrow key. As soon as you do it, these 3 tasks indented one layer and goes inside of this one. In Microsoft project, we call these a summary task. Summary task is kind of a task that has some more one to many subtasks. Okay, so task 1, task 2, task 3 is under work package here in this example. Okay, the duration of this work package depends on the duration of the subtasks. Okay, so if the maximum duration of all tasks belongs to this work package is 5, then the duration of the work package is 5. Okay, but don't worry about the duration, we will discuss them later. Just see what kind of tasks we have inside of the Microsoft project. So we have regular task, we have milestone with the duration of 0, then we have summary task, which is basically a kind of a group for some subtasks. Okay, then we have recurring task, a task that's repeated over time. Let me create one here. Let me find it on the task. The recurring tasks here. If I open here, task, recurring tasks, if I press, there is a new screen here. I can put the name, for example, meeting. The duration, let's say 2 hours. Okay, every day, let's say every day. Okay, or here I can specify calendar days or working days. Let's say working days. Then and after 20 times. Okay, if I want to assign a calendar, and this recurring task, this recurring pattern is similar to what we had in the calendar and exceptions, if you remember the previous lesson. Okay, now press OK. What happened here is Microsoft Project automatically creates a summary task based on the name that we assigned, and put 20 tasks, 20 subtasks, meeting 1 to 20, and the duration of 2 hours based on what I define. Okay, but there is a very important point that we are this mark here, this mark. It has a constraint. We will discuss about the constraint later, but for now, just remember how to create the recurring tasks. Okay, recurring tasks. Okay, so we have, so if I want to summary so far, we have normal task, we have milestone, we have summary task, we have these subtasks, and we have recurring tasks. Okay, now let's discuss about so far what we discussed here was about the tool, what about the Microsoft project and different type of tasks we have inside of the Microsoft project. But now let's discuss a little bit about the process behind extracting these tasks. How we from what is the source of this task? How I can identify the tasks? Okay, let me delete this. Okay, now with you. Okay, there is a concept. There is a concept. Work breakdown structure, or WBS. If you're familiar a little bit familiar with the project management, work breakdown structure is a technique and a tool that is very common in the project management concept. You can find it in every single book about the project management. Work breakdown structure is a technique that allows you to break down the scope of the project. There is a there is a funny and famous example for the WBS, work breakdown structure, is when actually a question is what you want to do, what you can do if you want to eat an elephant. Okay, if you want to eat an elephant, can you do it in one shot? No. How you do it? You need to cut it in piece, right? You need to break it to understand it, and then you can eat it. Okay. Otherwise, you cannot eat the elephant. Here, also, to understand the scope of projects, during the planning phase, you need to break it. Okay. Let me give you an example. Let's say we want to have a website for selling electronic devices. A website for selling electronic devices. Okay. Let's see how we can break and create the work breakdown structure. Okay. So let me put it here. Website. Website. Okay. Then let's see how I can break it. One approach is I don't want to go in details on different types of WBS and methods to create the WBS. I just want to give you the idea how you can use the work breakdown structure, and each person for same project, different people can create different work breakdown structures. Okay. Now let me I can break the website. One approach is I can break the website to, let's say, front end, or let's say UI, and let's say back end. So I broke the website project into two separate items, front end and back end. Then for front end, I try to break it more into, for example, homepage, shop, don't know, admin panel, what else, blog, then for the back end, maybe I put API, reports, reports generation process, DB, database. It's just an example. Database, DB. Okay. And let me connect this. Maybe I had to use a better tool, but I think it should be good enough. Let's say this and this. Okay, so the website is two part. For let me Insert object. No. Okay. Yes. Here is L0, level 0. We call it level 0, the top, at the top. Then I have level 1, okay? And then I have here level 2. So I broke my project into 2 levels, okay? Level 1, level 2. Each one of these, we call them a work package. Work package, they don't have cost, they don't have durations from their own. All the information, all the cost, duration, schedule, all work, all of these is coming from the task that we identify under each work package. Okay. When we completed the work package of a project, there should not be any task, any delivery that you cannot link to each work package. Okay, remember this point. This is very important. For example, if someone is telling me that, hey, Mustafa, the marketing and marketing also was part of your project, which section you consider the marketing tasks? Okay, then here in that case I have a missing work package. If you miss a work package part of your project, it means you are not going to plan for it, and you most probably you're gonna miss the delivery. So remember, whatever you are going to deliver in your project as a scope of your project, it should be exist inside of the work package. Maybe someone's I don't know, maybe you want to put marketing under one of these or separate. It's up to you. It's like, as I said, each person create different work breakdown structure for same project. Okay. This is one approach to break down a project. I hope you get the idea. So the idea is, when you want to do the project, you need to break it to understand it better, and it help you to extract and identify the tasks required for each work package for your project, and you do not miss them during the planning and during the execution. Okay, that's why work breakdown structure is really, really important. How you identify tasks here, for each work package, and at lowest level for each work package, you need to use different techniques like brainstorming, checking similar projects, asking the expert on that field, different methods, different techniques. You need to identify all the tasks that you need to complete to make sure that the homepage for your project is ready. You have to do it for each work package separately. For example, let's say here, let's say task 1, task 2, task 3. Let's say, as an example, this homepage required 3 tasks. Okay, then This one also require another 3 tasks. Task 4, task 5, task 6. This one required 4 tasks. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? But at least you need to, because you're breaking, at least you need 2 tasks. You cannot put 1 task under 1 category. It doesn't make sense. Here also for work package, if I want to break the website, at least I need 2 work package here, right? Here also, if I break the front end, at least I need 2. Here I have 4. For task, identifying task, also same concept. Okay, you have to do it for all work packages. Then at the end, you can say you identified all the tasks required in your project. So let me here give you, let me complete it, then we can input it inside of the Microsoft project. Task 1, task 2, no, task 11, task 12, right? Then make it simple, just 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so these are tasks of your project, and let's say this is a work breakdown structure, and these are the tasks identified for your project. Now let's move back to the software. Inside of the software, we discussed about different types of tasks. How we can implement these inside of the Microsoft project? The summary tasks, right? Now, inside of the Microsoft project, let's say I put it in website. Okay. Then here I broke the website into 2 subcategory, right? Front end, back end. Then here I have, I can put front end, back end. Don't worry about the predecessor's resource name duration for now. What we do is here, we broke the project, we created a work breakdown structure, then we identified the required tasks to accomplish, to complete our project. Now at this step, I'm using Microsoft Project to import them into the software. Okay. Now select them, indent, right? So I have front end, I have back end. Then front end is broken into 4 work package, right? I press insert key. I select, I'm standing and selecting on this one, backend, task ID 3. Then press insert button on my keyboard, or you can use tasks, insert tasks. I do not recommend you to use this because it creates something like this. I don't want that. I just need this free space. So I use the insert key on my keyboard. So I set 4, right? Front end, I set home page. Then what was that? Shop, admin panel, blog. Shop, admin panel, blog. And remember, this is just example. It can be totally wrong, right? It's just an example to give you some idea how you can on the concept of project management to identify tasks and insert it inside of the Microsoft project. It's not like you just open the software and start the data entry. The data you put inside of the Microsoft project, you have to do something before reaching this step. And creating the work breakdown structure and identifying required tasks basically is that step. This step is happening outside of the software, require a project management knowledge, require the project management process. And here you just insert the result of that process. Okay, so homepage, shop, admin, blog, this one also indent, right? Now, backend, API, report generation process, DB. API, report, DB, database. Okay. Now, for homepage, 3 tasks, right? 3. For shop was 3. 3, 3, 4, then 2. 3, this one. 4, 2, 2, 2, this one also 2. So let me simplify it. Use T1 as task 1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, T7, T8, T9, T10, T11, T12, T13, T14, T15, T16, T17, T18. Okay. Now I have to indent these as well. And this one is outdent if I want to outdent subtask. Then I have to indent this. Then I have to, oh, I missed this one. Then I have to indent this. This. Okay. So far, so good. Here. It looks good, right? If you look at the Microsoft project style of using the summary tasks to align it the work breakdown structure concept, it's like you look here on work breakdown structure, I draw it from top to bottom, right? From up to down. Here is same view, but from left to right. If I close the summary tasks, here also I can unview, I can say outline, level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay. I will explain you later why it is showing like this, because there is another option that I didn't mention yet. What is that? Task, under task or project? No, view. Where is that? The project summary. Project summary. I cannot see it now. Okay, I will show it to you later, but I will explain you why that the level is different. Here I said level 0, 1, 2. This is correct. Don't worry about that. Here on Microsoft project also this one is correct. It call it level 1, level 2, and level 3. Basically, because the first level is the project and it is only one item, but here you can have multiple items. See, you can have A, B, C. If you look at this, now test and website are at the same level, okay? But here, the level 0 is the whole project, okay? So on Microsoft project, it is started from here. Also, Let me open. See, this one level, another level, then here, and then tasks, right? So summary task, regular tasks. I hope you get the idea of the work breakdown structure and also how you implement the result of work breakdown structure inside of the Microsoft project. Then let's also discuss about the WBS coding. Here, let's say I want to use a coding system. For example, here I want to use 0. Then if I want to use a coding system, let's say the website is 0. Okay. Then the front end code is 0. A separator here, let's say I put dot 0, 1. Then backend is the code for backend is 0.2. Okay, it's not a number, it's just the code. 0 represents a layer. This 1.1 and 0.2 also represent a level and sub work package. So it means 0.1 and 0.2 at level 1 means that the work package on 0 level is broken into two parts, 0.1 and 0.2. Okay, now the code for this one, you should know it now, for this work package, okay, is 0.1, then 0.1. Okay. Then it should be, I think you get the idea. Then for this work package, this one, press the I don't want to. Never mind. This one is 0.102. And you can do it same for the rest. So for this one, this API code is 0.2. For this one, 0.1. Okay, this is, we call it WBS coding system. Okay, it's just the unique coding that you can use for each work package and also for tasks. So for this task, for example, task 1 here, 0.0.1.01 point, then you can have a code related to this task 1, let's say 0.1. So a coding for task 1 will be 0.1.1.1. Okay, we call this WBS coding. Inside of the Microsoft project also we have this concept, WBS coding. It implements based on the structure you defined here in define code. Okay, define code here. On define code, let's say project code prefix. If you want to use a prefix, for example, exercise. Okay, I put exercise. It will helpful when you have multiple projects and if you want to manage multiple projects at the same time. Okay, this prefix. Level 1, number, length, 1, separator. Okay, the dot is fine. Then next, let's say number 2, then number again 2, then number, I don't remember how many level you allow to define. I think it was up to, I don't know, it was up to 20, I don't know. But normally in the project you don't need more than 4, 5, maybe 7, 8 levels. I personally, I don't think in my whole life if I reached more than 10 levels. I don't remember. Okay, here let's say 2. Okay, generate WBS code for new tasks. Sure. Verify uniqueness of new WBS code. Definitely, because the WBS code should be unique. Okay, here and also you can see the example. And as soon as you press OK, Microsoft Project automatically assign this code for each tasks. And remember, when you draw WBS and define tasks, we call these work package, we call these tasks. Okay. Inside of the Microsoft projects, all of these are tasks. The type is different. The work package are summary tasks. These are regular tasks. Okay. And remember, if you need to identify more summary tasks under your tasks, you are free to go on inside of the Microsoft project. So remember, when I'm inside of the Microsoft project, when I'm referring to tasks, it means all these summary task, normal task. On work breakdown structure, these are work packages. These are tasks. Task 1 to 18. These are tasks. These are work packages. Work package is equal to summary task inside of the Microsoft project. Okay, now we discussed about the work breakdown structures, how you can identify tasks for your project, and WBS help you to do not miss tasks, reduce the risk of missing a task, a work package from the scope of your project. Then, but I do recommend you to try to read a project management book, find a section related to work package, work breakdown structure, and get more information about these concepts. I try to simplify it as much as I can and show you how you can use it inside of the Microsoft project. But I do recommend you, maybe in future I create a new separate video only to discuss about the work breakdown structure and how important it is. But here I just try to explain you how what is the work breakdown structure and how you can use it inside of the Microsoft. Okay, now we have the task here. Now let's discuss another important topic. It's combination of tool, Microsoft project, and project management concept, the milestones. Okay, as I said, milestones are regular tasks, okay, just like regular tasks, but without the duration. Inside of the Microsoft, if you want to use it, it's very simple. You just create a task, put the duration as 0. Okay, simple as that, right? So simple. But the concept and usage of these milestones is very important. If you open a project plan and you do not see the milestones inside of that project plan, you can blindly say the person who defined this plan is missing a lot of items because there is no milestones. Milestones is very, very, very important in project plan. Let me give you some examples on how you can use them. Okay. Remember, at this level, I don't want to discuss about the duration, logic, and connection and the relation between the tasks. So if I try to link between tasks, just ignore them for now. I just want to show you how important is the milestones and how you can use them, and how the milestones can help you to have a better plan. As I said, milestones from softwares, from Microsoft Project tool perspective, is just a task without a duration 0. But using the milestones inside of the project plan is kind of an art. Let me elaborate it more for you. Let's say for this project website, I need to purchase a server. I need to purchase a physical server, put it inside of a data center, and then implement the website on top of that server. Okay, so first thing, it is missing somehow. It is missing inside of the work breakdown structure, or maybe someone is coming and say purchasing the server should be a task or a section under the backend. I don't know, but I prefer to have it separately. Okay. So here, let's say I want to purchase server. Let's say I create a new summary servers. This is a summary task. I want just to make it very simple. Purchase server. Okay. Then server delivery. Then server physical implementation. Okay. Just an example, just to give you insight on how you can use the milestone inside of your project. Let's discuss about the first task. Okay, purchase the server. Important question here is, who is going to do this task? Who is responsible for this one? Is it part of your project, or it's something that someone else outside of your project should do it? For example, maybe part of the contract for this project, the infrastructure and servers are responsibility of the customer, or is responsibility of another person, another department, another company. But it is the prerequisite, it is a requirement for your project. Okay, maybe. Or maybe you are responsible to purchase the server. Here, let's say you are the responsible. Let me copy paste here and make it case 1, case 2. Case 1, let's say you are responsible to perform this process. Okay, purchase the server. You need to prepare some documents, get some signature approval from your boss, from procurement team, a lot of internal process may require, you may want to add them as a separate task inside of the Microsoft project. That's fine. But at the end, for example, let's say this process takes 5 days, right? 5 days. Then what will happen? At the end of 5 days, okay, it means you got all the signature, approval, whatever you need, and you also paid the company that you want to purchase the server, and it's done. But what is next? The next step is the delivery of that server. It may takes up to 2 months, 3 months, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Okay, so we have server delivery. Server delivery is not your responsibility, but it's very important for you to track it. It's not your responsibility because it's the responsibility of the server provider, the company that you purchased the server from them. Right? So it's not your responsibility. You are not going to manage the resource. You are not going to manage people to deliver this server for you. So server delivery is like a milestone for you. And it happened, for example, let's say when you paid for the server, that company is telling you that, okay, in 2 weeks we are going to deliver the server. Don't worry about how I link these points here. We will discuss later, but just look at the Gantt chart. Okay, so you start the process here for 5 days. Purchase server process, your internal process is happening. Then the server delivery happened after 2 weeks. Right? 2 weeks. Only then you can physically implement the server inside of your data center, right? So here I used server delivery as a milestone, as a delivery that I expect to receive. Now I expect to receive, in this example, 18th of April. Okay. Now I can see it, I can track it, and I can monitor and control. Although this task is a kind of a project for another company, another team that working on, and it's not under your control because but their delivery is a milestone for your project. You need to have the server, the physical server, to implement the website. Okay, but you are not the company that produced the server and delivered the server for you. So with milestone, I defined as a milestone task the server delivery inside of my project plan, and I will link it into my task so I have a realistic plan, and so I can track and monitor and control my project. Without these milestones, my plan is not realistic. And also I should not put, because I've seen many people working like this, I should not put it like this in my project. 2 weeks. Although it looks same, but it is not, because now in your project you have a task for 2 weeks, and when you assign a resource, it assumes that these resources, for example, working on this task, and it will increase your working hours on your project plan. This is not right. This is not correct, because you are not doing anything in this during this time. You just wait to receive the servers. Servers are requirements for your project, it's very important, but it's responsibility and a project for another team, another company, and the only important for you is they should be able to deliver them to you on 18th of April. You don't care, you don't need to care how they want to do it. You just need them to deliver this on 18th of April for you. The same concept for outsourcing the tasks. For example, if I outsource the API to another company, okay, or maybe front end, any work package. If you outsource the work package to another company outside of your team, then you expect them to deliver the deliverables, what at the end result. You don't care with how many people they want to do it. They want to do it with one developer, or they want to do it with 10 developers. They want to work 24 hours to meet the deadline, or it's very simple for them and they can handle it with only 1 hour per day. You don't care, you don't want to care, you don't need to know, you just need to end result. Okay. And for these cases, you're gonna use milestone. So if a task not under your control, if you do not need to control the resources for those tasks, you don't then use the milestone. Okay. Another usage for milestones I can tell about. You can put important delivery of your project also as a milestone inside of your project plan. So later you can create a report based on the project deliverables and show it, for example, to high-level management. Let's say in your project plan you have 500, 600 tasks. It doesn't matter for management. They don't want to bother to go in details for those tasks. They just want to know if that project has 5 main deliveries, what is the status of those deliveries, and what is the expectation date to deliver those deliveries. And those deliveries, you can define them as a milestones inside of your project. Okay, so all external requirements, for example, the money, the budget that you need to receive to handle your project, you can define them as milestones and also link them to your tasks. Let me give you another example. This one is very important and nice. Let's say for homepage, the task 1 is, let me make it simple, design. Let's say this design is 5 days. Okay, let's say design is 5 days. So what you do is you have a graphic artist that design the UI, make it nice, make it beautiful, different colors. But for example, marketing team needs to approve that UI. You need to define this because it's very important. You need to define this, or even customer should approve the UI. So I'm creating another task, customer approval on design. Put it as a milestone. Don't worry about the links. We will discuss about links later. But now just see how I use the milestones. Here, my plan is task 1 design. Okay. When the design is completed, then we have another task, customer approval on design. Why it's important to define this inside of your project plan? Later, imagine if a customer approve your design after 20 days. Then it will impact on your project plan or your delivery, because you don't want to continue the project and implement it without the approval of the customer on the design. What if after the delivery they come back to you and say, this is not what we want, it's ugly, you have to change it? Then it ends a lot of reworks for you, wasting time, wasting resources. And you must implement these inside of your project plan. Your project plan should represent what is going to happen on your project. If you miss this approval on your project plan, most probably you're not going to ask customer to approve it. And most probably you cannot defend and claim the delay, especially when the delay happened and there is argument with the customer that why this delay happened. You want to convince customer that this delay happened because you didn't approve the design for 2-3 weeks and it created the delay. You need this evidence, you need this information to make sure everything is aligned. So milestones, that's why I mentioned, if you open the project plan, a schedule plan, and you do not see these kind of milestones inside of your plan, then it means that plan is not a proper plan. I can blindly say that is a very poor plan if you do not have the milestones for prerequisites of your project, for external requirements, for deliverables of your project, for all these approvals, similar things that require on your project. If you do not define them, then you're gonna have a big problem. Okay, this is about the milestones. Turn back. Here another example was here, another company purchase was your responsibility, server delivery was responsibility of another company in this example, and implementation. Or maybe you completely put the responsibility of servers on your customer. Maybe customer is responsible to provide this, so you will not involve in purchase process at all. So what you need is only the server delivery. But in that case, even if you do not, if you do not know, if you should not involve in at any level of infrastructure for the server, but you need to mention as a milestone in your project plan that on this date customer is going to provide access to the servers, because you need that date to implement your software, your server. Otherwise, you cannot deliver the project. And if you do not plan it in advance, you cannot control it, you cannot monitor it, you cannot argue with and discuss with customer about the delay that may happen. So, short story, milestones are very, very important. And in upcoming videos also, I'm going to give you more examples on milestones and how you can use them. Okay. This is about the milestones we discussed. Okay. Now let's discuss about other fields here that we have. We didn't discuss about the duration, right? Because although when you don't have a resource, or when you don't have on your project you don't have resource, you can use this field to assign duration, like 2 days, 3 days, and the Microsoft project is accepted from you, but it is not a proper way to do this. I'm going to discuss about this point on a lesson that I'm going to explain you the resources inside of the Microsoft project, but for now it's fine. Here on this field duration you can put 2, 3, it's a number. If you want to use days, by default it's days, but you can use also minutes, right? Minutes. You can use HR for hours, you can use MO for months, you can use W for weeks, right? And you cannot use a year or years. Then let's say move it back to day. Then, but there is one point that on this field that you need to fully understand here. Here, look at this task, design. Okay, it is on 29, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, it's a standard calendar. Now I change it to 3 days. 8 a.m. 29 March to 5 p.m. April 2nd, right? Here also you can see. Now, instead of 3 days, I put 3 E days. If I remember correctly, exception days. I don't remember the exact abbreviation, but it's E. You can put E behind days, hours, minutes, weeks, months, for all the different type of the durations. Okay, let's see, I put E for days. Now I press enter. What will happen, you may say, okay, it means it ignored the public holidays and it's also working on public holidays. If you see here, let me control Z. Here, 1 day, see, 1 day, Friday, then Sunday, Saturday is public holiday, then continue on Monday and Tuesday, right? But if I put 3 days, 3 E days, you may say, okay, it just ignored the public holidays and work on Sunday and Saturday. But it's a little bit more. It is also ignoring the end working hours. It means three days non-stop, without stopping. 3 full days working. Okay, remember this point. Okay. And I think the duration is fine because I'm going to discuss about how you define the duration of the tasks on a video, on resource video. So I think it's enough for now. You can also play it a little bit and put the duration on the task that you define, but it's fine for now. Now let's discuss about the link and relation between tasks. Inside of the Microsoft project, the calculation of the schedule plan is based on the critical path method. You can Google it, you can learn more about that method. Long time back, I mean 50 years back, 60 years back, when they wanted to create a project schedule plan, they were using that technique to schedule the task, created the project plan. It was all by hand. You had to do all the calculations with your hand, and it was a very, very time-consuming process. But here in the software, and for example in Microsoft project or any scheduling tool, it's very simple. You just need to define the duration, resource, and also define the logic and link between tasks, and the tool automatically generate and create the project plan for you. In Microsoft project, you can link the task to each other with different methods. Okay. For example, I can select the task and I can press left click, drag up or down a little bit, then I can see it, chain icon, okay, here, and I can drop it on any task here. Let's say this one. It is automatically created the link between these two tasks, finish to a start. We have 4 types of link between tasks, finish to a start. Here by default is finish to a start. Okay. So one way to link between tasks is just select. Remember, when you want to drag or select the task, do not stand on the right side or left side, on the middle, okay, a little bit middle, and then drag up or down and drop it. Also remember, when you select, do not drag left or right, okay? When you select, drag up and down and then drop. Another way to create a link between tasks is to use this field, predecessors. Each task inside of the Microsoft project has an ID. Remember, look at this ID here, this column ID, like index, okay? This task is 4, this task is 5, for example. Here, predecessors of these tasks, customer approval and design. If I put ID number 4, press enter, it automatically links these two tasks to each other, and link type is finish to a start. Finish to a start means the predecessors, which is design, must finish, then you allow to start the successors, which is customer approval and design. So the link between these two tasks is if it's defined as finish to a start, the predecessors, task ID 4, must complete, then you allow to start task number 5. Okay. So this is also another way to create a link between tasks. You can also open a drop down and select it here, because you can have multiple tasks as a predecessors. Okay. Another way to create a link between tasks. So far we discussed about two ways. Let's say I press Control, left click on a task. Let's say here, Control, select, left click, then left click, then left click, then left click, then left click, left click, left click. Remember, important point is here, when I'm doing this, the sequence of selecting task is important. Now, after selecting them, I still, control is down, I select them. Now here there is an icon, link the selected task, or Control F2. If I press this one, exactly based on the sequence that I selected the task, it created automatic link, again finish to start by default. And it's very handy when you want to create a link between the sequence of tasks on your project plan. Okay. This is another way to link the tasks. Another approach to link tasks is task information. If you double click on a task or right click and select information on a task, a new page opens for you, which is task information. inside of the task information, we are going to use this task information a lot, and I'm going to cover different tabs later: custom fields, notes, advanced resources, predecessors, general. But for example, from general tab, you already know about the name. This name is exactly same as task name here in entry table. Or duration, this duration is also exactly same as this one here on the duration column. Okay, here there is a tab predecessors, and on this tab you can select the predecessors, similar to what you could do here. Let's say if I select this one, T2, or you can put the ID, task ID here, and it automatically fill this section. Let's say ID 9. Okay, and here you can specify the type. Again, by default is finish to start, but there is also other types of link between two tasks, and you can select them. We will discuss about different types later, but for now, learn how you can link between tasks. Also, there is a column for lag. Lag, how can I explain lag? Let me show you an example. Let me here. Do you remember when we discussing about procurement? Lag is kind of I'm not sure how to explain. It's a kind of a delay, but it's kind of a delay or waiting time. Better to say waiting time instead of delay. It's a waiting time, and it's part of the nature of the link between these two tasks. For example, you completed your purchase process, and now you have to wait 2 weeks to receive the servers. Those 2 weeks are a lag. Remember, for let's say I'm linking these two. Let's say this one is purchase the server, this one is receive the server, and the lag is 2 weeks. Lag 2 weeks. So it means, and if you look at here on the predecessors field, you can see how Microsoft filled this part. It means if you also want, you can type it 13 FS plus 2 weeks. If you type it also, it applies same. Let me remove. Also remove. So lag is kind of a waiting time, part of a link between two tasks. For example, if I'm telling you customer approval design, you will receive it after 3 days when you submit your design. Let's say your design is completed. So it means you will not receive the approval immediately after you complete your design. You need to wait 3 days to receive that approval. And that 3 days is lag. This one. Okay. Let me remove it. Another way to link the task. So that was also using the predecessors tab. Also was another way to link the tasks, and it's a little bit better than the other one because here you can specify the type, but I cannot tell you which approach is better than other approach. You will learn over time which one to use and which one is more handy. Because, for example, let me give you an example. Let's say you want to delete all the link in your project. Okay, on this field you can just drag, select, press delete on your keyboard, and you delete all the link. So it's very simple. But if you want to link each task, one task with 10 separate fields, type it here. It's not easy. If it's only one task, maybe you know the ID, you can type it quickly here. For example, this one is 5 require for just type it, okay? Or you can, on Gantt chart, you can drag it. But if the task is far, far away, let's say here, your task is here, okay? And here, let's say, let me move it here. Let's say, if you want to drag it, by the way, if you want on the UI also, you can double click on the link. You can change the type, you can assign the lag, whatever, or delete it, okay? You can drag. Now you have to drag and find that task. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? I cannot find it. Here. See, it's not easy, right? But it's very simple to know the ID. So the ID is, for example, 5. Now I'm finding this task. Okay, so the predecessors of you is ID 5. See, this one is very simple, easy. Or double click on this one, predecessors tab, define the task, define the type, lag, and press OK. Okay. Another way to create a link between tasks is to use a view. We will discuss about the different type of views later, but for now you can right click on Gantt chart, press show split, then here if you selected resource and predecessors, or you can use predecessors and resource, up to you, or on the predecessors and successors, let me delete this extra. Where was it? I deleted. You select the task, then here you have the information regarding. Don't worry about these informations, we will discuss all of these later. For now, only care about this section, the successors. Here you can say the predecessor. Here is successors. Remember, successors. You define the successor of the task. Now I want to define the predecessors. You say the customer approval design is, for example, design. Type is finish to start. Lag is, let's say, 2 days, and press OK. Then it creates the link. See, as you can see, you have different way to create a link between tasks, and I cannot tell you which one is better than other one, because each of them has some positive and some negative. For example, for drag and drop, I showed you. And over time, when you work in different projects for different situation, you will see which one is more handy and which one is faster for you, and you will use them. Okay. But the result is same for all of them. Okay, now let's discuss about the different type of links between tasks. As I said, by default Microsoft project consider finish to start as a default link between tasks. So if you create a link between two tasks, predecessors, successors, Microsoft for this link consider by default 0 lag and finish to start as a default link, default dependency. Let me change it start to start, and let's discuss about this one. Let me increase the, ignore about the rest. Let me create some space. Ignore about the rest, just focus on this. So I have task, let me even rename it T1, T2. I have T1 and I have T2. T2 still is the successors. T1 still is the predecessors. And the link between these two is the start to start. It doesn't, remember, it's very important. It doesn't mean these two start together. This link means start to start, especially when this one is successors and this one is predecessors. It's very important for you to fully understand that it doesn't mean that these two tasks starting work together, although it shows like that. It means task T2 can, I emphasis here, can start as soon as the predecessors, which is T1 here, start working. I said can, because it's very important for you to understand. Task T2 cannot start until task T1 start working. You may try to link like this. Let me change it, the start to start. Now, the predecessor and successor changed. Now T2 is the prerequisite, is the predecessors for T1. Now it means T1 cannot start till T2 start working. It's very important for you to understand that this link is not meaning that both start together. No, one of them start and other one can start at the same time by starting the prerequisite, by the start of the predecessors. I hope it's clear. If it's not clear, leave a comment or send me an email. I will try to explain more. But now let me change to finish to finish. Finish to finish also same. When you see these link these two, it doesn't mean that these two finish together. No, it means these two, T2 is for T1, the prerequisite is T2 and the link is finish to finish. It means T1 can finish if T2 finished. Let's say it's 10 days. It means the end of T1 is linked to T2. T1 cannot finish if the T2 is not finished yet. Okay. So we also have another kind of link. Start to finish. It means this one, the prerequisite is this one by start. Yes. Let me give you an example. This one is the complex one. Let me give you an example. By actual example, you may understand it better. Let's say I have a person, and that person is responsible to guard a box, or is responsible to monitor a screen to see any there is, for example, there is a table figure and any and live data is coming, and that person is responsible to monitor, and as soon as there is an alert, inform management, inform support team, or inform, just raise the red flag. Okay. And the working shift for that person is 8 hours. Okay. Another person should also do the same after this one. Okay. So person number one is starting work. Person number two, these two should not work together because it's a waste of time. You only need one person to work and monitor the screen. This example is better. The monitoring the screen to identify the red flag and just raise the alarm to the team management. The second person, person number two, should start work after 8 hours. Okay. Let's say the link between working of these two is finished to a start. Okay, is finished to a start. As soon as person number one finish the work, person number two can start working. But it doesn't mean that person should start working immediately. Maybe after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, start working another task is not finished and that person is not available at the moment to continue the monitoring. So person number one at the end of 8 hours finish the work, then leave, and after 1 hour the person number two will start working. Still the link between those two is valid because it was finished to a start. Person number two can start working after end of work for person number one. Person number one finished his work and left, right? And then person number two start working. On project plan, on Microsoft project, you always see this immediately after this one because all the tasks by default has as soon as possible constraint. We will discuss about the constraints later, but that's why you always see them here. But if it goes like this also, still the link is finished to a start and this logic is valid. Okay. But then my work nature, my nature of work in our example, the person number one and person number two is monitoring those tables, those figures are very important. We should not lose any minutes. So person number one should not leave without seeing that the person number two is available to start working. So if person number two is not available for next 1 hour, then it means person number two should continue his shift till person number two become available to immediately start working and monitoring. That's the difference between finish to start and start to finish. Okay, I hope you understand it. Leave a comment or send me a question on email. I will try to answer. Okay, so we discussed about the dependency of tasks. We said that the dependency of tasks we have four type. But there is something inside of the Microsoft project which is much stronger. Let me return back. Control Z. Return this. Okay. We discussed about task dependency. I said there is another point that you can define for task, and it's much more stronger than the dependency logic between tasks. When you define the dependency, you say this task finish to a start. Okay, let me 3 days, 4 days. Okay, this task, there is a logic between these two tasks. The predecessors for task 5 is task ID 4, and it's the type is finish to a start. It means you should not be able to start this task when the predecessors is not finished, right? But there is constraint. Constraint is much stronger than this logic. Let me double click on this task. If you go to advanced tab, at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you whole review on task information. So don't worry for that for now. Just focus on the point that I'm explaining here. Here, there is a constraint type. Constraint type by default is as soon as possible, okay? But there are other options. As late as possible, finish no earlier than, finish no later than, must finish on, must start on. Let's say in this example, 31 March. Let's say I'm here and double click on this task and say must start on 31 March and press OK. It gives me kind of alert that there is a conflict. What you want to do? Cancel this request, not applying, try to avoid the conflict, or this constraint is very strong no matter what was the calendar, no matter what was the dependency logic between tasks, this constraint must apply. Okay, this one. Then you can select this one to allow the conflict on scheduling. And now you can see still the dependency between these two tasks is finish to start without the lag. Lag also, by the way, it can be minus. Okay, just remember it can be minus.